Okay, hi, welcome to Vibemakers, the podcast where we talk to culture activators and people who are doing amazing things in the people and culture space. And today I have the absolute honor of introducing my friend and collaborator and partner on all things culture, Mindy Hancoop. Mindy is the founder of Agile and HR, but more than that, she is a mentor, an advisor, speaker, facilitator, and just all-around great human. She just brings the best to every environment that she's a part of. So I'm really excited to have you on Vibemakers, Mindy. And so maybe if I could just have you tell a little bit about you and Agile and HR and what you're up to currently.
Thank you so much, Marnie. It's such a pleasure to be here. I mean, that's such a big question. How did you arrive at today? like, how is Agile in HR? I love the question because Agile in HR, I'm really usually very intentional about everything that I do. It was always a dream to own my own company, to do something, but I never thought that I could do it. Really, I never thought I could do it. Big imposter syndrome. And when I came out of my last chief people officer job, I was just interviewing for my next job. And I was picking up side gigs along the way. And, long story short, I wanted to work with someone. They required business insurance, and you need an LLC to have business insurance. So that's how Agile and HR was born. So I could have a side gig. And, fast forward to now, Agile and HR became the job I was interviewing for. And it's my full-time thing. Agile and HR has evolved over time. And really now in 2025, it has become the really, pouring into the lives of our current HR leaders, often within smaller organizations that are typically it's their first time with the title of whatever that title is, VP, head of. There's so many titles.
Oh, yes, there's so many.
Yeah. And so coming alongside of them and being able to really just be their guide and really helping them be able to see what is possible from an HR function and being able to see that it's not just tasks and activities, but that it is a true strategic function of the organization and how it fits into the ecosystem of work and how do we start to shift and how do we set them up to be successful in driving the narrative of people strategy and tying that to the profitability and revenue strategic conversations.
And I think that's what's most inspiring to see the work that you've been doing lately is your true passion for helping others, and you've seen it work. You've seen it, be a powerful place to be in an organization, and you want to see other people succeed at that. And it's been really inspiring to watch you build, these professionals with more self-confidence that are getting over the imposter syndrome themselves and being business leaders.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, I wake up every morning just I love doing, I finally feel like I can say I'm one of those incredibly blessed people to be able to be doing something I love.
I love that. Awesome. So let's talk about, one of the things that you and I spend a lot of time talking on is company culture. Mm-hmm. And we talk a lot about tying culture to profits and all of that, but what first sparked your passion for culture? Was there a particular experience or an event that actually served as a catalyst for that movement into focusing on culture as a business driver?
Yeah. I think it was my first job. I feel so blessed to have been able to work at Microsoft as my first job. And the culture was back then, it was in 2000. It was when Bill Gates was still there. And, people can have their different opinions of, what that time was like. For me, in the recruiting organization, we had an amazing We had amazing leadership. We had an incredible team of people. And just the onboarding process, Marnie, like I'll never forget that onboarding. It felt like going to high school camp. It felt like that. I felt like I was drinking some type of amazing vibe juice. And I was like, I was born to be here. Like I was like, that's a palpable culture, right? That's a palpable where you like it's almost like getting indoctrinated with like, right? Like this, like I was hired for this. Like I heard this in my interviews, like everything's just like checking the box of like, yes, I made the right decision over and over because it was so value aligned, right? That it was woven into how they recruited. And I felt seen because they were looking for people like me. And like when you go to the onboarding, it's other people that are excited about the same thing and the purpose of what you're there for. You're just so aligned. It's so clear of why my role is important, why I'm going to be the best person at this job, and what am I tasked to do, and what is the organization, like what does success look like and how is that measured? I just felt like that was like crystal clear. And, ever since then, I feel like in other organizations, onboarding is so overlooked. In the recruitment process, because man, I came out of that onboarding just like spitfire out of the gate. I was like, okay, I am ready. I'm ready. And, I'm rearing to go. And, I think, I started out at Microsoft as a contractor, and that onboarding is like this, it almost felt like to me like Mecca, because I wanted the badge. Like you blue badge was a full-time worker, and you don't go through the onboarding as a contractor. And so it was almost like I was having to like prove myself. Like, and I was feeling the culture and looking at it from outside in as a contractor, right? Because you don't feel quite like you're a part of it. Like you can sense it. And you're just like, I wanted it so bad. I wanted to be a part of that culture. And so the fact that you could see I felt like I could see the difference because the people just had this known, when culture's that much, people they get each other, they jive, how decisions are made, how they're prioritized. It's like the behaviors that you want to see show up that drive to those business outcomes are there. And I just wanted to so be in that. And so when that full-time job interview came available, I like raised my hand, I like interviewed, and that onboarding just felt like I would have just stayed there. Like I would have like stayed at Microsoft for the rest of my life.
That's amazing. But how quickly at the beginning of an employee journey, how important that is, because it did set you off on a trajectory of true, like, I am where I am supposed to be, and I will do whatever it takes, to make this company successful. So, yeah, that's huge. And have you been, in an environment where you've actually seen culture transform an organization? Yeah. And so what made that transformation possible?
So and it was interesting too, because I think there's cultures and cultures in an ecosystem, like, and it aligns to the greater culture, but you're creating something uniquely different yet aligned. And so when I was at Expedia, I had the amazing honor to be able to be the HR project manager that set up the first entity in Switzerland. And it was a brand new division as well. And we're bringing Expedians from our US office, our Canadian office, as well as our UK office, as well as hiring local people, because we had to start this office, we had to have a commitment of having 50 people in the office. And so it was super unique that you're taking people that didn't even naturally work together, because we were building a new division. They had the skills, but they didn't like naturally work together. So we were creating something for Expedia that was new in that way as well. And it was like, for me, having come from and understanding the importance of our why is this, why are we bringing people here? How is this a part of Expedia, but also this new division? What do we want that to look like? And speaking with leaders, and they're like, why are you asking us these questions? And I was like, it's important. We're bringing people from all these places. We're onboarding them because I've always been passionate about onboarding because of my Microsoft experience. And I was like, we're onboarding them. I had like the whole like ramping onboarding plan. And I was like, we've got to explain this and in the onboarding. And I want you to speak to that because I try to always have leaders involved in the onboarding and helping them be able, even though they were current employees, I wanted them to go through an onboarding because this was new, right? We were creating something new for the first time. So the onboarding wasn't, often you can think, oh, this is just for the local hires that are first time to Expedia. But I was like, yes, they are part of Expedia. It was Inc. at the time as a portfolio, but this is a part of Expedia. And so what does that look like? What does that feel like? We're in Switzerland. Like culturally, we're bringing people from all these different cultures together and like we have the opportunity. And so that's where I was able to see the transformative power of being able to see because I think if we hadn't have done that, I think it would have been harder because you would have had these people coming from the UK, from Canada, and with their own whys, because they came from those offices. And I think because we started with this narrative of we're creating something new, we're bringing something new together, and we don't have all the answers yet because we didn't have all the answers yet. And so how are we going to work together to kind of create this thing? And what does that mean? What's important for that? And kind of creating that kind of one team kind of atmosphere. I saw the transformation of them coming as individuals to then coming together and gelling and creating these relationships of this new thing. And there's so many of those relationships from that time when we started that we're still in touch because we were such a special, and it was kind of cool because some of the other international offices were like, oh, Mindy, this is interesting. You've maintained a connection to Expedia Inc. back in Bellevue, and yet this thing is something special. Like we're so isolated from Expedia Inc. We want to be a part of but how do you do that? And so we created just this organic, maybe I'm just like to bring people together, but I've created a call with the other HR international offices and tried to also think about what kind of things make sense of how can we start to kind of create almost like a matrixed connection back to Expedia Inc. And it was neat even to see them transform their international offices as they started to create meaningful ties in their culture back to Expedia Inc.
Oh, what a beautiful story. Like, it's so brilliant. And when you create something special like that, I worked with a company at one point that had a value of get the experience right together. That was their core value. But there's something really magical about that and contagious across the organization and creating that matrix environment. It's wonderful story. Thanks. Okay. So what would one change that you would like to see happen in workplace culture over the next, few years? That's such a big one thing. I want workplaces to really be able to see the possibility of humanity. Mm-hmm. I think there's so much injustice that happens. And I think people listening to this, I've been trying to be more brave in speaking about the injustice that we have in workplaces. And I think a lot of it is the lack of humanity. And so that's my hope for workplaces. Oh, like goosebumps, that's a hope for me as well. And, it's one in our roles we get, I think I said this earlier, but we get our hearts broken, quite frequently. And so, I think that's a big part of it is because we care about humanity and the treatment of people. Okay. So typically I would go into rapid fire questions, but today I'm going to rapid fire just one question because I'm super excited about this question and I want to get to it before we run out of time. Yeah. And it's so much better than my other cheesy questions that I ask. So, Rapid fire, Mindy. What exciting things do you have on your plate?
Oh my goodness.
That's coming up.
Yes, I have something that I've been waiting to tell. Marnie and I have had the incredible opportunity to collaborate together and bring something to life that I've been dreaming about for a while now. And it is a Catalytic Culture Mastermind workshop, a 3-month experience. And yes, yay. And we're going to be inviting HR leaders, professionals to be able to bring their real workplace gaps, their problems they're looking to solve for, and be able to come together in community with us to be able to co-create, co-design using human-centered design. So they get to learn about the tools and that I've been talking about, but actually practically solve this real problem with us. They get to and then we're going to have office hours, one-on-ones in this 3-month experience. And we're kicking it off this month on February 25 at 11 o'clock a.m. Central Time with a free webinar with SCORE. SCORE is an incredible organization. I don't have enough time to talk about it here, but you'll be able to click on the link to learn more. And it's really going to be an ignition to the why of why we're doing this and be able to help shift mindsets, because you have to have a mindset shift to understand the possibility of what we're talking about.
Yes. Yeah. So excited. And I know, we're up on time, but we will include details in the comments below. And then also we'll be posting it out on LinkedIn. So if you don't follow Mindy, oh boy, get on LinkedIn, follow her, follow me if you don't follow me, and we'll have more details. So join us with the free workshop, kick the tires, get that mindset shift, and then hopefully we see you there for the entire mastermind and spend the next 3 months with Mindy and I. I'm so excited. Thank you so much.
Of course. Thank you so much for having me, Marnie. I just love what you're doing. Thank you so much.
Yeah, right back at you. Thank you. Bye.
Thanks.